Hello, and welcome back to the Dragon Racing League. We are slowly getting ourselves underway, with a few drivers having stepped out for their first fast lap. As you can see, a little bit of a smaller field. Everyone will earn themselves points today, as we do have our 10 drivers: Red Devil, Younger, the Johnny Damon, Sabino, Racer X, Bischultz, Captain Slow, Mystic Fox, Wolfsburg Tuner, and Knick-Knack Paddywhack.
Those of you who have never visited Mexico before are in for a real treat. Every year on the 1st and 2nd of November, we celebrate the Day of the Dead.
You can see our first set. I believe we've got 4 out now for our first fast lap of the evening. It's a very technical track, 17 turns. Yeah, 17 turns. Very technical, large, fast straightaway from turn 17 down to turn 1. You can see there's quite a bit of a DRS opportunity through that section. We do have 2 DRS zones with 2 detection points. You can see right above the 2 of Sector 2, which is about just before coming to turn 10 there, kind of between turn 9 and 10, where you will get the second detection zone, or the first one of the full lap. And then your first, for the straightaway or the front stretch, the detection zone is coming into Sector 3, just above that little 3, and out of turn, or just coming out of turn 15. Currently we are in turns 1, 2, and 3, this little snappy section here, as we are on board with Captain Slow in the Ferrari, as he makes his way through. And you can see there, it's fairly tricky. He does set our purple. He is our first one out, so he will set that purple Sector 1. And as we move into 4 and 5, before this kind of a hairpin of turn 6, before then a quick windy sort of high-speed section here as we make our way through Sector 2 into turn 7, 8, and 9. Can be a little tricky if you get a little too aggressively on the throttle, or if you get a little dicey with your steering. You can oversteer and cause yourself to sort of lose traction on the rear end. As he heads into turn 12, we'll have this quick little complex here of 13, 14, and 15. It's a pretty tricky area up in the stadium before you kind of break your way out. And as soon as you get on out, you head down around turn 17, and then it's right off to the start-finish line. He sets our fastest lap there with a 1:21.1. Great start for this one. You can see Younger here also has actually just set the purple Sector 2. He is heading through the stadium section around turn 16, heading towards the start finish line, and he is going to get himself up into P1 1:18.0. Looks like a little bit of an incident there for the Red Devil, but he is on his lap, or his out lap, so he should be all good. Looks like we've lost Wolfsburg Tuner. We got Bischultz having set a purple Sector 1 here. You can see the Ferrari getting out of the way as he makes his way through turn 6, a little bit of a hairpin. Can be a little dicey if you get a little on the throttle too soon. You can kind of cause that rear end to really kick out. But it's a very fast sort of section right through Sector 2 when you've got that 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11 before you head down the hard right of turn 12, and then 13, 14, 15 in the stadium section. There's kind of a hairpin, but not quite. And then you've got turn 16 can be very tricky. That wall comes up on you very quickly, which can obviously end your race very quick. Bischultz setting our current fastest lap of 1:17.672. And then Sabino with a 1:17.396. But not to be outdone, the Red Devil is set a purple sector 2 as he heads through the stadium. As he goes around turn 13, 14, and then 15. We're making it around turn 16, getting very close to that wall, what you want to do, and then try and cut as much of this angle as you can with a 117.340. Looking to be a fairly quick group of people today. As it looks like, unfortunately, for Knick-Knack Paddywhack, he has gone through track limits, causing his time to not count, but we can see here we are on with Racer X. Will hop on board as he makes his way through the first complex here of 1, 2, and 3. A little bit of a tricky section before getting down to the throttle. Got a little bit of DRS through there. I'm sorry, I said there was 2. There's actually 3. I forgot, coming out of turn 3 towards turn 4, you do get DRS there. Both the first and second DRS zones of the lap, I guess, normal ones you will get. They're both fairly short straightaways. They're in after sector 1 and towards the start of sector 2, and then from sector 2 into sector 3. As you can see, we're gonna make our way through this kind of windy left, right. We're heading into the stadium here, where you get on the brakes hard. Try to not go too far there. Get as much of the track as you can when you try and make your way through this hairpin. Tight right, a little left. Another tight right, you really got to get close, but not too close to that wall. And then you try and cut turn 17 as much as you can for this, as he does hop up with a 117.326. And then the Alpine of the Johnny Damon. As you can see here, heading towards turn 16, careful to avoid that sausage curve on the inside, and get down on the throttle as close as you can. That'll hop him up into P5. You can see Knick-Knack Paddywhack here. He is on his outlap, so we'll give a quick hop on over of that Williams Racing. As he is just going to be on his outlap, and we do have a couple people. It looks like Sabino is starting their outlap. I think that is Mystic Fox there. Yeah, Mystic Fox also starting their outlap. Same with Captain Slow. Let's see, Knick-Knack Paddywhack. He is just about to wrap up his outlap before heading on. He goes through turn 1, 2, and then 3. Careful to avoid track limit. Ooh, a little bit of slide on that back end as he comes out of turn 3 there before getting to open up the DRS. Does set a purple sector 1. We do know Knick-Knack is very quick. He is not a slow driver here, so this will be a good addition into how everything will play out. We can have a few people fairly close together, and we do have 5 drivers right now, and that's without Knick-Knacks getting their time in. Same with Mystic Fox in regards to getting under that 117. Or into the 117s, sorry, under the 118, and Younger just outside of it. Ooh, Knick-Knack getting a little squirrely coming out of there. We're getting down on the power. Don't think that'll be his favorite time, but he does go into the 116s. So a little dicey coming out, but was able to hold on and get himself a fantastic time. We haven't shown any of the Mystic Boxes. They are making their way through into the stadium area. And the Alfa Romeo, which will no longer be Alfa Romeo if you have heard the latest news. And they will hop up into P8 there of the stake. What is it now? It's Stake Kick F1 Sauber or something like that. Just an absolutely ridiculously terrible name. But Alfa Romeo has left the building, if you will. We do have Sabino on their flying laps. They're getting close. Actually, sorry, no, they already have completed their flying lap. They're also now down into the 116s. Red Devil just starting their flying lap. We do have, I believe this is Bischutz on the ending of theirs. Is that unfortunately just a little bit better, about 0.2 of a second faster on that lap. Not quite able to get down in any higher, but does stay in P5. I think Red Devil's kind of our last one out currently. Most people are coming on in now. And with Track Evolution, sort of the closer you get to the end, obviously the more grip you're going to have. And through Sector 2, they're up 0.3 of a second. So that's always a good, as they do set a purple Sector 2. They do increase their time and hop up into third while dropping just over 0.3 of a second off that lap. So fantastic. And a great purple sector 2 as well. Does look like the Johnny Damon is heading on out of the pits. Yeah, so there's Johnny Damon. He is going to be starting his first or his next out lap. And it looks like we do have Captain Slow also out on their outlap as well. So they're just a little further behind the Johnny Damon, so the Johnny Damon will get going fairly shortly. I think the hope is to kind of get out a little faster. Gives you a chance to try and make a extra lap if you need to for the Johnny Damon. I think he's got just over 3 minutes. A minute 16, he might be able to snake a second lap in if he gets this one done very quickly. And we can see Bischutz going out of the pits just behind him, starting their fast lap as well. And there we can see him making his way through. Fortunately, not setting a purple Sector 1, but we'll see if they can gain a little bit of speed here as they make their way through Sector 2. Does seem to be holding quite well. They do drop 0.6 of a second going through Sector 2, so a purple Sector 2 for sure. Not surprised on that one. As they make their way through final couple corners. Let's see if this is going to end up. They come out of the final turn, hugging as close to the line as they can, and they are going to hop up into P4 with a 117.146. We do have Captain Slow is on their fast lap as well. They're making their way through into the stadium section. And then Hug, turn 17, stay close, comes through and with a 119.9, so it does improve, but does stay in P9. Do have a lot of people having started their flying laps, so Mystic Fox is currently underway here. We do have Younger, B. Schultz, who's just ahead of Mystic Fox. Sorry, they're just ahead of Red Devil. The Red Devil is still on their out lap. So we will stick with B. Schultz as he is trying to make his way through and get up near the front. They come into the stadium. Ooh, goes a little wide, and that's going to invalidate that time, unfortunately for them. We do have Younger. Mystic Fox, yeah, just ahead there. As Mystic Fox makes their way through, just exiting turn 11 down the DRS straight into turn 12, going all the way to the right, a hard left around that little hairpin, trying to avoid. Ooh, gets a little out of shape coming through turn 15 and 14 and 15. Unfortunately, I think that's gonna not help. Yeah, unfortunately, a little bit slower. Younger does get a fast time with a 116.539. So we do have 3 drivers all under 5. See where Knickknack's going to end up getting himself. 116.338. We do have Sabino coming through their final turn. And they hop up a 116.367. And then our final driver of the qualifying Red Devil holding on to P4 right now. Ooh, goes a little wide. Still manages to keep it on track. Doesn't invalidate via track limits, but does decide, you know what, not going to happen. And decides to throw her into the pits. And that will wrap up our qualifying here at Mexico.
Many claim that the current Formula E layout is the most dangerous circuit in Mexico due to the blind spots and turns.
We will have ourselves a little bit of a break as they will get everybody ready with their strategy, tire strats, all that fun stuff. So while we wait on that, we'll take a short break here, and we will be back at it quite soon. And welcome back, and it looks like a little bit of an issue for Sabino as he makes his way through the stadium complex as they are heading towards their grid boxes. And we have Mr. Schultz in here saying good luck, son, and that would be B. Schultz, who's currently in P7, but hoping to have himself a very good race here. And we are almost underway. Everybody just filing in. Last little bit. We've got 5 lights red, 5 lights out, and we are underway. As Sabino tries to get a good jump there, he is able to hold on Knick-Knack Paddywhack, losing a position to Younger. The Johnny Damon also hopping him as well as we make our way through into turn 1. Looking like Sabino is going to have that inside. Johnny Damon and Younger almost coming in contact. We have a very interesting mix of tires. We've got some softs, some mediums, some hards. So it kind of leaves the entire debate as to who's going to do what, where, and when very in the air, as there's going to be lots of options for kind of strategy throughout this with our 10 drivers that we have going on. Looks like B. Schultz having himself a little bit of an issue trying to get her going, as drop back to P10. With only 10 drivers, we will have everybody scoring points, so that won't be an issue there. Some of the strategy, yeah, so soft, medium, medium to hard, all kind of depending what you're feeling. So anyone who's on hards probably going to hop onto softs or really try and push them, hop onto mediums or really try and push them to get onto softs. You can see Sabino starting to create a little bit of a gap, and then the same behind them to Younger. Johnny Damon now outside of what would be DRS range, but obviously DRS will not be active this lap, but he does have Racer X right on his tail, as Sabino does set the fastest lap of 1:22.374. Make our way around lap 1 complete, and no incidents so far, which is always good. See the Johnny Damon having caught right back up. We are nice and close all the way through. As we can see, this Aston Martin sandwich with the Johnny Damon filling. Very tight as they make their way through the next straight down towards turn 4. B. Schultz has made up a position that he had lost, so no longer in P10 there. Wolfsburg Tuner, who did not join us for qualifying, has gotten themselves up into P7, so that's always good for them, as they are enjoying a quick little bump up. Knick-Knack Paddywhack, though, seems to have had a little bit of an issue. I'm not sure if maybe it's because they're on the hard tires, just taking a little extra time, as they seem to go right through the brake placards or DRS placard there and not smash those styrofoam things to smithereens. But yeah, I think those hard tires just taking a little bit of time to kind of get started again. As looks like the Johnny Damon has gone around. That's gonna leave them with a little bit of an issue, as they are going to now drop to the very, very back here. DRS is going to be enabled. Sabino now with a 2-second gap on Younger, but this little pack here getting very, very close together. And then there's another gap after Knick-Knack Paddywhack here till Mystic Fox, who's currently ahead of Wolfsburg Tuner, as they all try and make way. But this pack of 4 looking like it's going to have some good fighting. We have 2 Aston Martins, the Alfa Romeo over at Devil, and then the Williams of Knick-Knack Paddywhack, as B. Schultz has made it up another position and back into where they started, up into P7. Wolfsburg Tuner not looking like they're going to want to... looks like Mystic Fox gets a little squirrely coming out of turn 6, or sorry, turn 5 there. But still going forward on those medium tires. do have the Red Devil very much on the very back of Racer X as they're trying to hold on. Racer X goes a little wide. It is going to get themselves a 3-second time penalty, and that is not what you want. If you're now younger, though, you and your teammate probably going to want to try and do a little bit of a work together in the sense of backing up as much as you can. Younger does set the fastest lap of the 1:20.694. As Knick-Knack does make their way past Racer X, now Younger has to do what they can to try and fight off the Red Devil. They are starting to do a little bit in terms of catching up to Sabino, now down to a 1.8 seconds, so now under that 2-second time frame. Let's see, ooh, Knick-Knack gets a little loose coming out of turn 6 there, but you can see Mystic Fox getting chased down as we do have a caution. It looks like that is Racer X, and they have just gone. Let's see if I can try and catch what happened. Ooh, looks like they got a little loose coming out, and that'll in through, I believe. Yeah, that's in that sort of 6, 8, or 7, 8, 9 turns. Unfortunately, that will wrap up their drive, and then it'll bring out our first safety car of the day. Interesting. Okay, so we have B. Schultz 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, and then we do have Sabino and Younger. So everyone's going to hop into the pits very early here. It's a lot of hard compound tires going on, it looks like. I think Knick-Knack Tire Works, the only one who had hard tires on originally, or at least one of the very few. And they're now hopping in, and that does look like, I think that's Captain Slow who has hopped out. Mystic Fox now taking the lead, because he has not pit, but will be taking the lead for now. As we are lap 5 of our 36 laps today. We have lost our first racer, so we are down to 9. Well, while we wait for us to go green again, we'll quickly go over our thing here. So we have Williams in P1, Alpine in P2, Red Bull P3, McLaren P4, Alfa Romeo P5, Aston Martin 6, Haas 7, Alpha Tauri 8, Mercedes 9, and Ferrari in 10th. With this, when it comes to restarting, you're going to definitely want to try and get as much of a gap as you can off the start. Reduce your chances of DRS playing a big factor a little bit later on, once that does get activated as well. And with that, safety car will be in this lap. So Mystic Fox will start to kind of back everything up. He will start kind of weaving and zigzagging, trying to get the tires warm. And Mystic Fox will become our more or less safety car here as we come through the stadium section heading towards. This is usually when they start to get going, and there is going to be Mystic Fox taking off. Trying to create a little bit of a gap. Captain Slow also right there. Now obviously no DRS zones or DRS active right now. So you can see a little bit of a gap starting to show up. B Schultz having gotten past Wolfsburg Tuner down in the back there. Younger gets past Sabino. And getting a little close back here with Captain Slow, and that almost caused some problems. We are heading 3 wide into turn 4 here, which is not what you want. 2 wide into turn 4 is even a little sketchy. It looks like Younger is going to make his way past Captain Slow. Mystic Fox now has created a little bit of space. They do have over a second now to Younger, but Knick-Knack Paddywhack has also gotten themselves past Sabino. Now they have swapped onto those medium tires. It looks like we have another caution, as that looks like Mystic Fox got a little squirrely coming through 7, 8, and 9. And unfortunately has dropped now to the back. Younger taking over the lead with the 2 seconds of a gap over Captain Slow. We do have a VSC, so that'll... Oh, and now that's going to actually bring out a full safety car. Not entirely sure why. It is... There's literally nobody on the track with issues. I don't think... Oh, Mystic Fox is missing a front wing. But, not sure why that brought out a full safety car, but... Okie dokie. As we are on lap 7, you can see Mystic Fox going to hop in, grab themselves a new front wing. Hop on some new tires. Probably go with the hards. Yeah, there's those white walled hards. As they're gonna get that, get a new front wing, and be back on the road, able to catch back up and amazingly not lose much time. It's always good. There's Younger, who has taken over the lead. Captain Slow right behind them, so that's gonna be kind of a bonus. As Knick-Knack, we do know, is very, 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 very fast, but they're going to have to wait and try and make their way around Captain Slow. This should hopefully be our last lap under safety car. Lap 9 of 36. Let's see what is said as they enter Sector 3. There it is. Yeah, safety car will be in this lap. We are going to go green starting on lap 10. Younger is going to back up the field, try and create a little bit of space between them and the safety car. We are back underway. Younger opening up a little bit of a gap here. They're about... Oh, Knick-Knack does get past Captain Slow as they enter into turn 1. Does take a little bit of a compromise line, but is able to hold on to it as we head into... out of that last kind of section of turn 3. A little complex there. As we are back underway, heading towards turn 4. Now, obviously, there's going to be no DRS for at least a lap. You can see Sabino and Red Devil both making their way past Captain Slow as well. The Johnny Damon also right behind. Ooh, getting a little tight. B Schultz having moved up as well, is now in P7. Or still in P7, sorry. Now everyone's just trying to do what they can to try and get past Captain Slow. And these high-speed corners being right in the slipstream. There goes Captain Slow getting that time penalty. But yeah, being right in that slipstream. Not exactly what you want. Although, ooh, there goes Mystic Fox. Unfortunately, in the background, you could just see her as she loses it, heads into the wall. That knocks off a couple tires and a front wing. And that's going to be the end of the day for Mystic Fox. And that'll be our third safety car. Once again, holding on to P1 as we head into our third safety car here. I don't think anyone's going to come into the pits for this one, but... And we have our safety car back in this lap. We'll be back at green. Younger going to be our proverbial safety car as we head into lap 13 very shortly here, as we are entering into the stadium section. Ooh, he backed everybody right up there. Almost caused a couple of issues. Knick-knack, paddywhack right on the tail. So Johnny Damon does get passed by B. Schultz a little further back. Looks like Johnny Damon might have had himself a little bit of a problem. Nope, he has headed into pit lane. Not sure if there was something amiss. Looks like, yeah, getting a new front wing. Unfortunately for that, it looks like he had to not necessarily brake check, but checked up quite a bit. As we can see, Knick-knack has hopped over Younger. We do have Savino right behind, and the Red Devil. So this group of 4 very close. As yes, B. Schultz does just make the jump over Captain Slow. Wolfsburg Tuner now also getting past Captain Slow. Ooh, big lockup by Sabino as he tries to make his way through. Turn 13 there. And Knick-knack, paddywhack having set their fastest lap. Red Devil coming on in. Pit lane allows B. Schultz to hop over him. Not sure. Are they missing a part of the front wing? Doesn't look like it. Just getting some new tires on a little earlier. Still about 22 laps left. As Knick-knack does take the lead here. Still holding on to the lead, sorry. Younger not quite relinquishing the DRS yet, as Sabino is also now trying to get caught back up just a little further back. As we head into the stadium section here, this duel for first place between Younger and Knick-knack. Younger having set the fastest lap. Both are on those medium tires. DRS is going to be enabled, so that'll be a big help for Younger. Actually, Johnny Damon a little further back, having set the fastest lap now, and it looks like Captain Slow and Red Devil both into the pits. The Red Devil's been in the pits for a while now. Oh, and just goes out. Maybe they had to go back in. Yeah, it looks like they might have just had to go back into pit lane. And we're starting to drop a little further back than I think they want to be. You are going to have the long straightaway once you make it past the start finish line with DRS. It'll be kind of more your spot. You're going to want to try and make a move. They're not quite able. Ooh, goes a little bit wide. They're not quite able to catch them on that part, or they're just game planning, trying to utilize it for later on in the race. The Johnny Damon going over 119.4 for the fastest lap. As you can see, the field now has sort of spread itself out. So we've got Knick-Knack and Younger nice and close in that DRS range sort of thing. 6/7 of a second. Then Sabino with just about 2.5 back. B-Schultz about 5 seconds back from there. Wolfsburg about 6 seconds. So everyone kind of driving by themselves, fortunately for right now. So we'll kind of stick with these two as they duel it out. See what they end up doing, and then kind of take a little walk around the grid for a bit. Let's see if he is going to be. He's not out. There he goes. Yeah. So DRS now open. He's going to try and make a move as he takes a look to the inside. Looks like he is going to get himself past. Moved on over and does make the pass for now. We'll see if he's going to be able to hold on to it as they come out of turn 3 down onto the other straight, and it does look like it gets to utilize DRS for the second time as well. Create a little bit of a gap there as they make it into 4, 5, and then 6. But bumping around, you can see Sabino just in the background now, about 3 seconds back. We do have B. Schultz sort of on there on his own as well as he makes his way through turn 6. This little hairpin at the end. And whoa, just in time to watch Wolfsburg have a little bit of an issue, but you see a little bit of a gap behind them, about 13.3 seconds. That'll tighten up just a touch as he gets a little squirrely coming out of turn 6. The Johnny Damon coming out of turn 6 as well. It's a little loose, but is able to continue. Captain Slow, he comes through towards turn 6 here. Need those cold tires to sort of heat up. And then the Red Devil, who is also a little further back, coming through and into turn 6 here. Nice and smooth, no issues for him. Now Younger, unfortunately having lost that position to Knick-Knack Paddywhack on the straightaway. But not looking like he wants to relinquish it very easily. And unfortunately, B. Schultz going to get themselves a time penalty.
Always getting yourself to an event during your stay in Mexico.
As Younger does make his way past Knick-Knack Paddywhack once again, as they're going to swap it back and forth. Now Younger set to go, try and make as much space as they can. Avoid the DRS if at all possible. Don't think it's going to be quite enough to break it fully. No, just about at about 6/10. Have an interesting time. He might not, Knick-Knack might not be able to kind of close this one up here. We're going to see. Getting real close. Looks like a little bit of ERS dump. Does get it. Does get the DRS. Is able to make the move. Take right back over. As they head into turn 1. We do have the Johnny Damon actually starting to catch back up with Wolfsburg Tuner. Let's see if this is gonna, and there goes DRS. He is going to take a defensive line, allow him to go out on the outside, trying to fight back. Unfortunately, the Johnny Damon, that DRS just too strong, and goes ripping right past there. And like a rocket, the Johnny Damon now a full second ahead and out of DRS range. Red Devil, you can see he's starting to reel in Captain Slow, slowly but surely. About a half second throughout the first sector here. Or, yeah, about 5/10. Slowly closing that one up. With the Younger back in the lead here. See what he is able to do. And Wolfsburg Tuner having headed into pit lane. The Red Devil getting past Captain Slow. Now has the long trek to working their way back into the top 5.
If you were lucky, you might have some dancing in some of the rest.
As we come down, we'll see, and there is Knick-Knack heading into pit lane. So Younger's going to take over. Now he's going to have to try and create as much of a gap as he's going to be able to and try and really push for the overcut. Well, we can see Knick-Knack trying to go for a little bit of an undercut. There is 13 laps left here. So he's going to hop on to a set of medium tires. See how much of a gap he is going to, if he's going to be able to sort of hold them off. So let's see if Younger ends up coming in. Right now we're looking at about that 16, 18, 19-ish. About 20 seconds back. It's going to be really tight if Younger decides to come in at this point. Or if he's going to push through. Looks like, nope, he is coming in. We're going to keep an eye on Knick Knack Paddywhack and where he ends up coming as well, though I think it's actually going to be not too much of a problem. Unfortunately for Younger, this might not work for him super well. Goes on to a set of mediums. Let's see, yeah, Knick Knack Paddywhack has already made his way through, and there goes B. Schultz. And here comes Knick Knack Paddywhack, as he's going to join just ahead, but he's also going to get a little bit of a gap there. So the Johnny Damon and is also now into pit lane. But yeah, he's going to have a 2-second gap now. That's Savino now in first place. Not sure if they're going to have to come into pit. I know they were on those hard tires to start. Or those, sorry, the mediums to start. Now they're on those hard tires. And they did pit very early on. They have a massive gap here. Let's see if Sabino ends up coming in. Looks like they have a little bit of a gap here. 11 seconds. So they, no matter what, they're probably not coming out in first unless something crazy happens. But those tires probably not super stoked. Well, with 10 laps left, 10-second gap. Not sure they're gonna who's gonna be able to close what. But Knick Knack does have a fastest lap now, the 1:18. I'm not sure if Sabino is just going to try and push these tires all the way to the end here, or if the goal is to try and get into the pits, but we'll see what ends up happening. So Knick Knack just trying to do what they can to sort of run away from Younger a little bit. If Younger starts to really put some pressure on him, they get nice and close together. That could help Sabino. It all sort of depends. Younger is about a 1.5 seconds back of Knick Knack Paddywhack. And we can see Captain Slow has headed into pit lane once again. Knick-Knack really starting to reel in Sabino now. Yeah, it seems like Sabino is just trying to push their way through and hoping to create as much of a gap as they can to try and force a win in a little bit of a sense that might not have played out as perfectly as they want, but those hard tires are going to be absolutely screaming by the end of that, or they're hoping for another safety car to pop up, give them a chance to, hop in and get a new set of boots on there. So Knick-Knack now within 4 seconds. Starting to reel in Sabino fairly quickly. Now down to 2.7 seconds, though the added bonus. Younger is at about 5/10 back, so he's actually going to be able to put a lot of pressure on Knick-Knack Paddywhack here. They do also have Captain Slow in between. Actually, it looks like they did just get past Captain Slow. So we're going to see now as Knick-Knack Paddywhack and Younger dueling it out while also trying to chase down Sabino. Got 6 laps left here. Ooh, Sabino gets a little slidey coming out of turn 5 there into turn 6, and that's not what they're going to want, so those tires are, I'm sure, absolutely screaming at them. And now Knick-Knack Paddywhack is in the DRS zone, or DRS range, sorry, as we go through the detection zone there, right there. Younger does get a time penalty, and that is going to very much open it up. Sabino does hop into the pits. That is going to open up the opportunity for Knickknack to not have to worry almost at all now. As now he just has to stay in touch with Younger. Obviously, he is going to want to try and win it on the track, but we'll see how that ends up going. Sabino is still in pits. Let's see if Schultz is able to get out ahead, and fortunately, it's not looking like it. As B. Schultz is going to be a couple of seconds back of Sabino as they make their way through. The Johnny Damon is trying to make a move here. We do see the Red Devil also trying to catch Wolfsburg here. Now we are out with Knickknack and Younger, honestly, a little clear of each other. And Younger has now backed down, is about 1.2 seconds back. As we enter into our final few laps here. He is still trying to chase him down. Younger is. He's unfortunately going to have a lot of work if he's going to try and open up a 3-second spacing here. Captain Slow going to catch themselves a time penalty. Well, the other thing is Knickknack getting themselves a time penalty as well. We do have a, looks like a caution in Sector 2, but I think that's just Sabino getting past Captain Snow. Or Captain Slow, not Snow. Make our way through the stadium section here with Younger. Schultz actually trying to reel in the Johnny Damon here as he's not too far off, though. Does get a little squirrely coming out of the S's sort of style section.
Many claim that the current Formula E layout is the most dangerous circuit in existence due to the blind spots on turns 2 and 4.
As we are on lap 35 of 36, our penultimate lap here. Younger and Knick-Knack still far and away on their own. Younger kind of hoping Knick-Knack makes a mistake here. B. Schultz is getting closer every time, just not quite within DRS range. Might now be. We're gonna see how this ends up playing out here. B. Schultz trying to make a move. Oh, and I think that's not gonna help there. Goes a little sideways coming out of turn 5, heading into turn 6. Doesn't lose too much time though. It does have a time penalty there, so unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be able to create enough of a gap. Yeah, as we start on our final lap, Younger does make his way past. Now he's got to hope that Knick-Knack makes some form of a mistake or is pinged for crossing track limits. As we head into the S's for the final time. And there we go. Knick-Knack Paddywhack is going to come across technically in second, but will get the win with that time penalty. Younger finishing in second place. Sabino in third position. The Johnny Damon on his way as well will finish in fourth. We will see Captain Slow finishing in 8th place. B. Schultz just behind in 5th for with an added penalty time, but what can you do? And then we do have a Red Devil. As they make their way through the final time of the stadium section.
What does that mean for today's result? Well, absolutely nothing.
And then finally we will have Wolfsburg Tuner on his way through as well. And Wolfsburg Tuner wrapping it up in P8. And that will be how this one ends, or sorry, in P7. Ah. Hopping over into P7. Driver of the day going to Knick-Knack Paddywhack. Alrighty, and as you can see, Knick-Knack Paddywhack is in P1, Younger P2, Sabino in P3, the Johnny Damon will take P4, B. Schultz in P5, Red Devil in P6, Wolfsburg Tuner in P7, Captain Slow in P8, and unfortunate DNFs for Mystic Fox and DRL Racer X. And that will be how this one ends for us. As we will be heading towards Interlagos in the new year. That will be January 7th. We will be back. We are going to have a little bit of a Christmas break, and we will be back at it. So as you can see, we will head to Brazil for January 2nd, or 7th, sorry, for our round 21 race. And then we will have Vegas and Yas Marina before we wrap up the season. For everybody here with the Dragon Racing League, we appreciate you for coming on by, and we will hopefully get to see you again in the new year. So have a fantastic holiday season, whether it's Christmas that you're going to be celebrating, Hanukkah, all the fun things, and we'll hopefully see you again after the new year. So once again, happy holidays, Merry New Year, and we'll catch you on the next one. See you later. Bye.